We need another one of those machines. Get them ready. Get your money, Jonathan. Okay, got it. Get it. Just sit on that flat ground, Jeff. Unless he's leg it, at least. Yeah.
"50 men died, 57 were injured. It was the worst reverse of the war. And it slowed the final assault at a moment when the British were running out of time and resources. The artillery opened the battle for the mountains. The armoured vehicles were to be a distraction. While they rolled along the flat ground on the flanks, the main advance went across the top. Two para, rested after the Battle of Goose Green, were being helicoptered up to join the rest of the Commando Brigade. Blooded by one battle, they were no less apprehensive about the next. But the quickest way out, perhaps at this stage the safest way, was through Port Stanley. You're going back after a few days off. Are you glad to be going back?
Yeah, I think so. I've got to get the job done. Got to get it done fast. So the only way to do it is get in there.
Do you have any feelings of apprehension, though?
Oh, yes, definitely. Well, shadow of a doubt.
It's just waiting around is the worst part. We're all just waiting to go. So we just want to get there and get over and done with.
You had one big battle already at Goose Green. You learned any lessons from that?
Learned a lot of lessons.
What sort of things?
Well, fighting through. Just keep on going. There's no stop, no turning back. It's just straight through. Never been taught to turn back. Everything is just straight through. Just keep on fighting.
By Friday night, the units were in position. D-Day would be Saturday, HR, midnight 01. The Army's alphabet demands that all advances start on HR on D-Day. The last intelligence briefings warned it would be no walkover.
Instead of there being two separate brigades, 3 brigades has been reinforced, with 1 Welsh Guards and 2 para. 1 WG will be in support of us, 2 para in support of 4 para. The timings, the exact timings are that this will start rolling at about 1 and this will start rolling about 3. We'll start on broad timings. A rough misty fucking runway. Some nice bombs all around it, but there are 13 aircraft, some of which are definitely Puckera, parked on the aprons around Stanley Airfield. There's also another report in that they have managed to reinforce themselves with helicopters from the mainland. They've now got the capability to lift 2 companies for reinforcements. We know how they're going to reinforce themselves, because on the slopes of Mount Kent, feature at the back, they left a tented area which contained their op orders for the defence of this area. Right? And they are prepared to lose 50% of their supporting troops. Right, their quick reaction force. So they're going to take this quite seriously.
On Saturday morning, when it was light enough to see, the wounded, both British and Argentine, were brought back from the battlefield. The worst casualties were suffered by the Parachute Regiment's 3rd Battalion, 3 para. They'd cleared Mount Longdon against considerable opposition. They lost 23 men killed, another 47 wounded, the heaviest toll of any single action. Many of the injuries were caused by mines which had been scattered from helicopters in the path of the British advance. There'd also been highly accurate fire from Argentine snipers, well equipped with night sights that let them pin down the British troops in the dark. The strength of the resistance meant General Moore's plan was falling behind schedule. On top of Two Sisters, the Marines too had taken their objective and were now the target for harassing fire from Argentine artillery. They should have been moving on. Instead, men coming close to the edge of their endurance had to spend another day, another night in the open, and the temperature was dropping. The delays were partly logistical, partly brought about by the time it had taken to overrun the Argentine machine gun posts, dug in with a commanding arc of fire across the mountain slopes.
Last night, we came up as a company to take this position here. They'd removed themselves from where we initially had contact.
Was that machine gun?
That was a machine gun, yes. They weren't there. The first troop took that, and as we came up about 200 metres, we came under fire from up here and also further down as well. And then we simply came up as a company. 2 troop came up here and took the SF positions, the machine gun positions, which were up here. We reckon there was about a company, but as we came up to them, they ran out, they bugged out.
What kind of weapons did they have? Is it just machine guns?
GPMGs, the same machine guns that we use.
Yeah.
And FNs.
You were under fire on the way up, were you?
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah.
What kind of fight did they put up?
Initially, heavy fire. And then it appeared that as we put down our fire, and we were using the 66 anti-tank weapon, they began to move back from there. It appeared that they left sort of die-hard chaps up here, and as we got closer to them, they also ran away. So in fact, we found no one up here at all. By the time we got here, they'd all gone.
Just about 5 miles away, back in Port Stanley, Argentine troops at their headquarters in what was once the main school were still comparatively unperturbed by the British advance. They'd had plenty of time to build up their defences round Stanley, and although it was plain by now that the ordinary conscripts hadn't much heart for the fight, it was freely acknowledged by the British that the men manning the machine gun positions, and there were many, were extremely skillful. They were the ones who stayed on when the rest had fled. The task force commanders also felt that General Menendez had made a tactical mistake by not making more of the high ground outside the town. He tended to concentrate his troops lower down. His artillery positions were skillfully placed, and the spotters guided the fire accurately. But the general consensus was that there wasn't enough of it to stop the kind of advance the British troops were engaged in, hazardous though it was.
On Sunday, as the Gurkhas moved up to the top of Two Sisters, ready for the next assault, another barrage of artillery came down on us. But with the high ground in British hands, the Argentine artillery had no spotters. They had to fire randomly, groping for our positions. A tense afternoon, but less deadly than the return fire. Just over the top.
You can't hear these things coming at you. That's any comfort. What is that for?
From the mountaintop, the forward air observer was directing the Harriers in bombing runs against the Argentine defenders.
Roger, a bit plus of where we were aiming.
His position, peering over the top of the mountain, gave us our first view of Port Stanley.
Bomb's gone. There's the bomb. Got it? Okay. Switch on.
As he talked to the pilots, he guided them in with a laser indicator, which can place the bombs precisely on target.
Where was that? Robert Duffy didn't see the bomb. It may have gone... oh, yes, got it. Just a little bit over from where I was aiming. An absolute beauty, I would say. Probably where there is a defensive position.
What was the 1,000 pounder?
Yeah.
I have my number 2 with other weapons if you'd like him to deliver on a...
It's spot on here.
Stand by. Roger, I will do that. Is it right on? Roger, I can now confirm that the bomb actually landed on the mark. Over.
We're now between the two gun lines, and there's a right old artillery duel going on between them. Unfortunately, this is the area, unfortunately for us that is, this is the area where the Gurkhas are gathering, and someone has clearly spotted them on the skyline. They're going to go over the top and down the other side to take the hill in front of us at dark. But we've been spotted, and we've now been under fairly continuous shelling for some time. That's the British firing back, and they can't hit back at the gun.